Stevie fell out. There were more than 20 of us piled, crammed, squeezed front and back. I was sitting on Mama's lap. My brother Brad was sitting on my lap. Granddaddy was at the wheel speeding up Matanzas Road to Centertown when the old Ford swerved in the sharp crow-nose curve. The back passenger door popped open and Stevie fell out. When Granddaddy finally heard the backseat voices yelling, then screaming, "Stevie fell out! Stevie fell out!" The tires burned rubber, skidding as Granddaddy slammed on the brakes. Luckily, it was autumn. Stevie brushed leaves off his clothes and out of his hair as he crawled out of the ditch, then raced to the car, which he dove into head first, thankful to be alive and not left behind. Granddaddy yelled, "Somebody hold on to that boy." As tires squealed, burning rubber again, the car, filled with several generations, flew into the night. And that Stevie fell out from the new issue, the annual issue of the New Southerner, Bobby Buchanan's beautiful publication, which includes the front cover photo is by my sweetheart, Jinbug. And here's one more piece. This is to share with you. Welcome to Tapping My Own Phone with Ron Whitehead. This is our third edition, produced by Shooter Russell. And going back into my roots a little bit with these stories, my Kentucky roots, arriving. Not many deer crossed the road back then, but life was wild. I remember the call, October 1959. I was nearly 9. Mama was in the house. On the phone, I could hear her crying, moaning, talking. I was standing behind the barn. It was hotter than hot. I started praying for Granddaddy to live, to be all right. I was just a boy, but Granddaddy was special to me, real special. He was wild, like the deer that appeared and vanished when Granddaddy drove 90 miles per hour on Highway 261 between Forestville and Hardinsburg, heading from Centertown to Valley Station, going home. Me riding shotgun, windows down, flying on old Kentucky country back roads. So many times Granddaddy stopped at the little McQuady grocery near Rough River to get me soda crackers and ginger ale, cause back then I got car sick, but Granddaddy only laughed and smiled and talked to me like I was real and not just a kid. I remember a 6-pack of beer on the floor in the back and a pint of whiskey in the glove box. Granddaddy was real. When he breathed, the earth breathed. He moved things. He was a grader operator building the Watterson Expressway around Louisville. He was a barber. He cut hair. He made records. He traveled and sang on radio stations and at concerts. He yodeled. He cleared the land with the rundown farm he bought that had belonged to his mom and dad, my great-grandparents' render. He went fox and coon hunting with his friends in the middle of the night, always drinking whiskey and telling stories that made the men laugh. I knew because I went with him whenever I was allowed. Granddaddy didn't preach, but his life was a sermon. He was Spirit, Holy Spirit, no matter what anyone says. So I drive fast with the windows down, and I don't wear a seatbelt, and I'm taking a hard curve with the long wind and the tall green trees and the turquoise sky, and the energy comes to me and it fills me, and I feel what Granddaddy felt, the energy of life, of sex, of love, of family, of longing, and I smile and I cry on this hot August morning. I know that somehow Granddaddy's spirit is still here with me, and my head and my body want to explode, but I hold on to the wheel with all my might, moving from day into night and back to light, finally arriving.